you gonna do it? It's fine. Hello? Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Is nobody doing the pledge? That's fine. Then we will move on to roll call. President Victor Llamas, that's me. I'm here. Vice President, Menifee Valley Campus, Eli Baeza.
Here.
Vice President, San Jacinto Campus, Sadel Perez.
Here.
Student Trustee Allison Salas. I don't believe she's in the call. No. Commissioner of College Activities, Brian Moreno Alvarez. I don't believe he's here either at the moment. Alrighty, moving on. Commissioner of Financial Affairs, Tracy Yee.
Here.
JC. Commissioner of Institutional Effectiveness, Nicholas Singh.
Here.
Commissioner of Public Relations, Ariana Rodriguez.
Here.
Commissioner of Student Equity and Cultural Affairs, Caston Chamberlain. Jose, did y'all meet?
No, something came up, so we didn't get a chance to meet, unfortunately.
Alrighty. Senator of College Activities, Cindy Lopez.
Here.
Senator of Financial Affairs, Christian Cortez.
That's me. I'm here.
Thank you. Senator of Institutional Effectiveness, Hector Cardenas. I believe he's in the call, no?
Present.
There he is. Thank you. Senator of Public Relations, Victoria Ann Caballero.
Howdy, I'm here.
Hello. Senator of Student Equity and Cultural Affairs, Tunupa Vasquez.
Here.
Thank you. Senator of Student Equity and Cultural Affairs, Victor Heredia. Don't believe he's on the call. And Senator of Student Equity and Cultural Affairs, Timberly Vick.
Here.
Thank you. As far as visitors go, I don't believe we have any. SGA advisors, Maya Cardenas, Jose Hernandez, Suzanne Ortega, and Valdivia are all present. Moving on to the approval of minutes, March 13th and April 10th. Did you all get a chance to look at those? Because I know Nick sent those out.
So they were linked to the board docs. I don't know if you guys looked there, but I don't think Nick sent them to everybody.
Okay.
No, I sent them through email. Like,
Yeah, I saw them.
Oh, perfect. So I want to ask again. Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes that Nick sent out?
Yeah.
Cool. Then with that being said, do I have a motion to approve of the minutes?
Yes, definitely.
Already motion given by Commissioner Rodriguez. Do I have a second? I'm not looking at my screen.
I'll second.
Thank you. Alrighty, moving on to board reports. Actually, is there any discussion revolving the approval of minutes? Alrighty. That being said, minutes approved, motion passed. Moving on to board reports and information items, all reports will be limited to 1 minute each. Additional time can be allotted with a motion and second from the Senate. First on our list is advisor's report.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. First off, I want to apologize for starting a bit late. Ran into some technical difficulties, but we got it all figured out, so we're good to go. But yeah, I just want to report on a couple things. First thing I want to mention is the Student Life departments. We're hosting a Eagle parent panel on May 7th from 5 to 6 p.m. and it'll be streamed live on YouTube. And this is just a great opportunity for us to hear from our students, staff, employee, parents, caretakers, just really anyone that's going, anyone in that area that's is living life, during COVID, right? Just kind of seeing how they're navigating through life. And we thought it'd be a great opportunity to open that platform to them to share their story. So we are looking for a student panelist. If you are interested in being a panelist, please email sldp@mscc.edu. And, we'd definitely love to have you participate. My next announcement is we did extend the SGA election packet deadline. So now the extension is, so the deadline is now April 23rd. So if you are interested in running for, position in our student government, please reach out to me. You can also email sldp@msjc.edu, and we're happy to share more information on that. And then the last thing I just want to say is I just want to thank everyone, all our viewers out there that joined us last night for our student life hangout. It was the first one we had. It was successful, and it was really nice to just, be in community with all of you and ourselves. And we definitely will be having more in the future. So shout out to SGA and a few ICC members that were there viewing last night. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Jose, does that conclude your report?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other advisors report?
I have a report, but I don't know if Lupe or Suzanne have anything.
I can go really quick. Nothing really major. I sent you guys an email this morning with the form, so if you can all fill that out, that would be great. But that's all I have. Thanks.
Alrighty, thank you. Lupe, do you have anything to report?
No, no announcements.
Alrighty, thank you. Maya?
Yeah, I just wanted to also just emphasize that the parent panel that we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks, please also help us spread the word for panelists, so we're particularly trying to center folks who are parents and or caretakers. So if y'all can help us just get the word out for potential folks. We also are trying to reach out to folks who may also be staff and students, because I think that's a unique perspective as well. But certainly if folks are just students and also are primary caregivers or caretakers or parents, that's really what we're trying to center for the panel. So yeah, if y'all can support us in that way, that would be great. And I think that's about it. I might have some other things, a couple things on the agenda items. Yeah, I think that's it. We had our student life hangout yesterday, which so I'm grateful that some of you were able to join us. It was the first time we did it. It was, I think, a success, I think, for the most part. We just we just were hanging out. And I hope you all were able to hear some info from the team. I think we're gonna try to do this next week. I think we'll talk about it, but if we don't do it next week, we're definitely going to do it the following week, and maybe just set a time aside and perhaps center the conversation on certain topics. So we'll chat more about that next week as a team. Yeah, so I think that's it. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, Maya. Moving on to executive officers' reports. Do any executive council members have anything to report?
Okay, me, Ariana.
Go
So
right ahead.
I talked with Isomware, and maybe we're gonna partner with Racing Canes. That's great. I'm gonna we have a meeting today, like around 12:30. So we're gonna give all the details because the deadline of the contract to renew the contract is coming up. So we're gonna see if she wants to do it like right now or she wants to wait to the new contract that is gonna be updated. Other than that, like Jose said, the SGA elections are extended to the 23rd. I'm gonna make sure to repost that and make everybody know. So if you can help me with that too, if you can share it with your friends and colleagues, that would be great. So that's it. Thank you.
Cool, thank you so much, Ariana. Any other executive officer reports? Go right ahead, Ellie.
I have.
Oh, someone. Can't see everyone. Who is just talking now?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, a little bit, but like you're kind of lagging, but that's fine. Yeah, kind of.
Okay, are we good? If this job's disabled, never mind.
Do you want to just like type it in the chat? Oh, sorry.
The chat is disabled. Okay, I have to leave because this is ridiculous.
You want to just like text me it then, and then like I can say it out loud? That's weird. Oh yeah, Jose, the chat's disabled on Zoom.
Okay, I'll look into that. Working on that now.
Alrighty. In the meantime, I believe Tracy, you had something to report.
Yes, just update of budget. So our total budget is $21,568.27. Just an update, and that's my report.
Oh, alrighty. Thank you so much, Tracy. Okay, I was just
Okay.
notified that Ellie is gonna do a written report. So, be on the lookout for that. But Sadell, you have something to say?
Yeah, thank you. So I just wanted to touch bases with my ICC, and one of the things is I'm encouraging my clubs to create an Instagram page if they already don't have one, so we can be able to reach out to more students on a social media platform. And through their social media, they can advertise themselves, events or activities, as well as or share resources that can help the student community. Our gaming club at San Jacinto wants to host a webinar where they're going to be discussing resources and advertise free games for students to download. They want to also emphasize mental health resources. We're having a discussion on a possible gaming tournament or other activities. My poetry club wants to host a poetry session, and this is still an ongoing discussion as of right now. I also reached out to Anthropology Club, and we will be discussing ideas for Earth Day. And I reached out to Terry from CASA so we can go forth with Title IX. She has already put together a presentation for the law club, and the topic is advocacy in the judicial system. And I am working on having a meeting with her and the Title IX crew to discuss a presentation for the gaming club. And I think that this would be very beneficial since we're now in online school and everything has gone virtual. Okay, that is it for my report.
Alrighty. Any other executive officer reports?
Did we
Alrighty.
get Ellie's yet?
That's gonna be online.
Oh, okay,
She said,
okay,
yeah,
sorry.
she has. No, that's okay. She said she has another meeting to go to, and like her Wi-Fi sucks, so it's like we can't really like hear her all that great. And yeah, that'll be in the written reports through the Google Drive.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I do have a report really quick. I was in a meeting with a possible collaboration with an outside resource on mental health. Thank you to Ariana and Caston and Ellie who also joined me in on that call. It's basically about supporting students through art, and with this pandemic going on, it can be a lot on our mental health. So the presentation was solely stressed on creating a supportive system in order to help with all that's going on in the pandemic in regards to our mental health. So yeah, be on the lookout for a possible collaboration with that. I was gonna bring it up to Brian, but I was gonna bring it up to Brian and Tracy because there is a budget allocation that we need to talk and go over. And well, Brian, because this is a college activity, I would want you to be involved in the discussion as well. But as of right now, it was just merely a thought and seeing where we wanted to move forward with this, and that's why I'm bringing it up now, and that's why I want to give you all a heads up. I think it's a really great opportunity. I think it's just going to take some resources that may be scarce on our behalf, but hope you can work something out. But yeah, that basically concludes my report. We'll move on to legislative reports. Any senators have anything to report?
I don't have anything.
I have something.
Go right ahead.
So for PR, it's just like another little update. We're just gonna continue working on the events that we had that were originally planned.
for on campus because we're transitioning them to an online format. So we're working together with college activities and as well as Sadell because of her Title IX event. And we're going to switch it to like almost an Instagram highlight. We're still discussing all the details, and I'm hoping that I can have a report typed out hopefully by today, but if not, Monday at the latest, and send it out to all of our SGA members.
Alrighty. Does that conclude your report?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Any other senators have anything to report?
I don't have anything to report.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm still working on my report from the GA, but
yeah.
basically there was like I think 22 resolutions that got passed, and like so I'm still trying to gather all the resolutions and then write something about them, and so that we could hopefully implement them or at least try and work on some of the ones that are related to the colleges.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Hector. Does that conclude your report?
Oh, and then I will probably still work on on a new structure for the next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
And basically it's probably going to be broken down from the kind of like a federal government system where there's an executive branch, a legislation branch, and there's so it's instead of being senator of something, you're just senator, and you can be assigned to whatever committees. So it'll be executives, senators, and then representatives. Anyways, that'll conclude my report.
Alrighty. Thank you, Hector. That's intriguing, actually. Any other senators have anything to report?
Yeah, Victor, I have something to report.
Hey, go right ahead, Cindy.
So since Brian's not here, we discussed about hosting the Netflix party, and the plan was to have SGA select one and the ICC select the other one, so people can go and choose on the Instagram.
Yes.
Also, we were talking about game night. I think Adriana, sorry, remember your name, but talking about game night, and just I think the other stuff is mostly Brian's ideas, so I'll let him talk about it when he's on next week, hopefully.
Hi, sorry.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was on, but I was taking care of my little sister right now, so sorry. But I'm back. I was gonna report, but I might as well just wait for the committee report. So thank you, Cindy, for just introducing my ideas. Thank you. So far, what we went over in the safety meeting, I just explained more about the events that I wanted to do. So just about the Zumbathon, a meal prep 101, the virtual Pouch Lounge, and then the coffee with the president. But we're still just going over the details and stuff. And I like the ideas that everyone else brought to it that I didn't think of. But I thought that was pretty cool. Then we just talked about the SGA elections, and then whether how the process is going to go of that. But so far we're still in the planning phases, and Jose's going to let me know when we're going to have a meeting for that, so that we can plan that out. And then we're just working on the virtual ceremony right now. So I wanted to be between me, Cindy, and the advisors, just because I want to make it a surprise for everyone else, just to make this event a little memorable and fun at the same time. So that's what I have so far.
Careful. Treading on my waters, Brian. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, Brian. Does that conclude your report?
It does.
Alrighty. Any other senators have anything to report? We kind of bounce back and forth, but that's fine. Alrighty. We'll move on to committee reports. Any committees want to report out? Maybe if anybody attended a committee meeting this week, shared governance committee, that is.
Oh, could people please attend our committee meetings and also we're having them on Monday now. I believe at 4 to 5.
That would be valuable information. Thank you. If you were Nick,
I have the, I'm sorry, no, I have the meetings at 3:00 on Monday. Is that correct, Jose? 3:00 for
Yes.
institutional effectiveness? Okay, so
Yeah.
3:00, not 4:45.
Mondays at 3 o'clock.
Type it in the
Okay,
chat.
cool. 3 o'clock.
Mondays at 3. Alrighty. Thank you for the information. Any other committee reports?
Yeah, I have a report.
Go right ahead,
So,
Tracy.
Yeah, so we have our financial affairs meeting on Wednesday, and so many people just join our meeting, and I really appreciate. And I also sent out a notes regarding what we discussed in our financial affairs meeting. Did everyone able to open it?
Yes.
Okay, good. And then we can discuss it on our agenda item. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's my report.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, Tracy. Any other committee reports? Alrighty. We'll move on to SGA feedback. Kudos, confessions, and concerns. This time is reserved for discussions among SGA legislators related to feelings, thoughts, intergroup dynamics, and group norms. Items on the agenda may not be discussed during this time.
I want to kudos to everybody. We had the committee meetings and it was packed with SGA folks, and I like because it motivates us to do a great committee meeting. So I try to attend as much as I can, and I can say that all of them was great, informative, and I believe that we had a better communication and understanding what's going on everyone's ideas on their own committee. So I will motivate the rest to try and the rest and join. If you can, it's okay, because I understand it's crazy times and a lot of homework and online environment. But just saying kudos to those. It was great. I had fun joining those meetings. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Ariana. Kudos to our advisors. Can't thank y'all enough. Trying to make this all seem normal. Well, trying to get back to normal anyways. Yeah. Thank you all for putting so much effort into our SGA, but also MCC as an institution. I really do greatly appreciate it. Other than that, I got a haircut, y'all. It feels
I
amazing.
noticed. I said that in the chat.
Nice
Yeah.
haircut, Victor. You look like you could beat me up.
Oh Lord. I'll never do that, but
All right, I wanted to give kudos to everyone. Same as Ariana was saying about everyone attending everyone's meetings. I like how we're more active, and it really was fun just to interact with everybody like that on different like other than a formal SGA meeting. So same as Ariana, I really highly encourage everyone to attend as much as you can, and we understand if you can't, because like Ariana said again, homework and just personal life. And I really wanted to give another kudos to Saydel, because even though like her event was canceled, we're still really working hard to make sure that we represent a lot of students who maybe are victims of sexual assault or domestic abuse. So hopefully we get that event out for you guys. So again, kudos to everyone and kudos to Saydel. So thank you guys for being awesome. Let's keep it up. Keep the good work.
thank you, Victoria. Any other kudos, confessions, and concerns before we move on? Alrighty, we'll move on to public comment on non-agenda items. All public comments will be limited to 1 minute each. Additional time can be allotted with the motion and second from the Senate. Suzanne, do we have any public comments?
We do not have any public comment.
Alrighty, then we can move on straight into the discussion / action. Actually, let's move to public comment on agenda items. All public comments are to be limited to 1 minute each. Additional time can be allotted with the motion and second from the Senate. Because I believe this extends to SGA members. I could be wrong though.
So I need to pull up some slides. So just give me a moment to do that.
Alrighty.
The first agenda item.
Yeah, so first on the list is we have a presentation on the Reauthorization Act.
Just a sec. Alrighty.
Alrighty. Thank you. I believe, okay. Give me 1 second. So, yeah, so first on the list is the presentation on the Reauthorization Act. I'm not entirely sure who's taking the lead on this, but
That's me. Hi, everybody.
alrighty. Thank you so much, Asia. Go right ahead.
All right, so I'll be quick. I won't take up too much of your time. We just wanted to make sure that you guys had some info on the Higher Education Act and why it's important to you. You can follow along with the slides, but I'll just talk through it. So the Higher Education Act, it's a legislative document that was signed into law in 1965 under President Johnson. The reason that it's really important is because it was the first time that financial aid assistance was provided to students. So prior to this document in 1965, there were no Pell Grants, student loans, nothing like that. Okay. 1965 was also a really crazy time in America. The first combat troops landed in Vietnam. The civil rights movement was in full swing, led by Martin Luther King Jr. And a lot of other landmark legislation was passed that year. So the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, Economic Opportunity Act, Elementary and Secondary Education Act, and Medicare. So any of those by themselves would have been a really big deal, but all together is nuts that they got this all through. It all played into President Lyndon B. Johnson's idea of his ideal society where everyone is educated and everyone had really high earning power so that they would have really high spending power and be able to support the country economically that way. The Higher Education Act in particular has 5 titles or sections, each of them pertaining to something a little bit different. And you can look at the slide and see those, but the one that is the most relevant probably to our students' day-to-day lives is Title IV. So that again was the first generally available student assistance ever in the country's history. So that covers scholarships, low interest loans, Pell Grants, any kind of grant you can think of. It's all mandated by Title IV. Also covered under that title are TRIO programs, and loans are the biggest piece of that legislation that is still, it's the biggest section of it today. So why does this matter to you, right? Like, why am I wasting your Friday morning drowning on and on about this history lesson? This act hasn't been reauthorized since 2008. It's supposed to get reauthorized every 5 years. Congress is supposed to get together, have a bipartisan conversation on how to fund higher education and come up with comprehensive rules every 5 years. They haven't done that since 2008. Instead, what they've done is do temporary extensions every time it's about to run out, and say that, we're gonna work on it. So the last time that they did this was, I believe, at the end of 2019. In saying that they were going to present something soon. So what has come out of the House of Representatives is the College Affordability Act. It was brought by House Democrats, and some of the things that it outlines, this will be a comprehensive reauthorization, mind you, if everyone votes on it. But it addresses the flyaway cost of higher education, how expensive your tuition is becoming every year at all levels, from community college to four-year grad school. It would simplify the FAFSA, so greatly reducing the number of questions. As a student, I could say, I know we would all love that. It would simplify the loan repayment process. For those of us who do have student loans, there would be just an income-driven option or the standard repayment. And you wouldn't have to start paying until your income was over a certain benchmark, which I think is like $35,000. So if you were making below that at graduation, they wouldn't expect you to start paying if this got passed. It also protects Title IX, which is, what Seidel's event is going to be related to. So the rules that were passed, or the suggestions that were released by the Department of Education on Title IX, which is the act concerning discrimination, sexual harassment in the higher education space. This act would basically protect higher education from ever having to go by suggestions like that again. So the suggestions that came out were a little bit predatory in folks' opinions. It walked back a lot of President Obama's efforts to make campuses more secure against sexual harassment and discrimination. That's a whole other presentation. But basically, this act would try to balance that. And this Title IX portion is also really controversial within Congress. It would increase your Pell Grant maximums, and it would also authorize students to use their Pell Grants for things other than tuition. So if you paid your tuition with your Pell Grant and you had money left over, you would actually be able to use that money for your rent, your personal expenses, which is not allowed currently. It would also increase and permanently authorize funding for HBCUs, tribal colleges, and other minority serving institutions. It would give incarcerated students access to Pell Grants, etc. So it's a huge expansion on what's already done. The Senate also proposed their own version of the reauthorization, but it's very narrow. The Pell Grant max is only increased by like $20. So it's not as comprehensive as this at all. And so that is just kind of the general walkthrough, bringing us up to speed of where we are today. So right now, the College Affordability Act is out there. It's in the House of Representatives. It's only been voted on by Democrats. The one in the Senate is out there. It's kind of floating. And the trouble is that basically both the House and the Senate are just kind of paying lip service to the issues that are going on in higher education. They have no intention of voting on this anytime soon. And you can see that information and Google the Higher Education Act and you'll get that same feedback. So what we are encouraging students to do across colleges is just to raise awareness about the act, and just kind of, I challenge you to explore it a little bit further, dive deep into it, decide how you feel about it, and really push your representatives and your local leadership to act, whether that looks like passing a resolution, doing your own activism, whatever. But the basic thing, the moral of the story, so to speak, is that college has changed a lot since 1965. College has changed a lot since 2008. And so there's no way that we can allow our government to keep kind of paper clipping together solutions to problems that students have been facing, are facing, will be facing from now until whenever, right? So we really need to hold our government accountable, hold our communities accountable to coming up with some legislation that works for everybody. And that's the end of my spiel. If you have any questions, hit me up, let me know.
Of course. Thank you so much, Asia, first and foremost. I really appreciate this presentation.
No problem.
With that being said, are you open to answering any questions right now, if we do have any?
Yeah, sure. To the best of my ability. I attested I'm not the expert, right? I'm not a Congress person, but as much as I know, I'll share.
Alrighty. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions for Asia?
Yeah, Asia, hi. I had a quick question. Is there any meetings that you hold that students are available to view at, similar to how we're having this meeting where it's being streamed, or is there anywhere students can access this information?
Not currently, but I'm more than happy to have it sent out, and I'm more than happy to be a resource for y'all. Just as a point of clarification, I'm the Director of Judicial Affairs, so this is not directly related to my role, but it's a complete passion project for me. I was a political science major, so I'm really passionate about making students aware of the things that impact them directly. But I'm definitely happy to support whatever y'all are wanting to start or continue to discuss.
If I can just jump in for a sec, this is Maya. I want to first of all just give major kudos to Asia for this awesome presentation, this comprehensive presentation relative, right, to the time we had. So this isn't directly related to Asia's role. She's absolutely right? Like she's got a certain scope of responsibility. However, I would say that we kind of work in a way that Asia is definitely our compliance person to some degree within our office. So Asia, I appreciate you being willing to be a resource for the students. I would also encourage you all as student leaders. This was really meant to be kind of a way to get your palate kind of, familiar with like what this is, as an act. So I would encourage y'all to really look at this as a political science project for the SGA as a collective. And so we can certainly be resources for you. We can continue to point you in directions where there's good information. And so maybe that's something Asia, can put together. I'm sure she had some resources that informed her presentation. So we can probably send those things out to y'all. But this is really meant to be your opportunity as college students, right? to really dive deep yourselves and to really find out, frankly, how you all are allowed to go to school, right? Like, how is your education actually funded, and what authority and agency do you all have with the ability to continue to get that funding? And the fact is, you have a lot of agency, you have a lot of authority, right? You have a lot of power. And so the offset of that, I will say, is that with power comes great responsibility, right? I'm quoting our Spider-Man movies. You know, you all have, I would offer, you all have a duty and an obligation as student leaders to educate yourselves as much as you possibly can. And so with that, we can be resources, but you know, y'all are students first and foremost. And so I would really encourage you to utilize your scholar hats and try to dive into some additional research and just think for yourselves, right? And form an opinion either way.
Thank you, Asia and Maya. I really appreciate that.
No problem, anytime.
Alrighty, any other questions for Asia? No? Alrighty.
Actually,
Hey, Victor.
here, wait, I have a question.
Go right ahead, Hector, and then Maya, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, do you go through like a lot of the ed code, like, because I forgot, like, you went to law school, right, or no? No.
No.
Okay, but you know.
No, I didn't go to law school, but the ed code is basically what governs our life as college employees, as college students, as members of a college community, right? So a lot of it comes up in maybe Maya's, Jose, Suzanne, everyone's day-to-day lives a little bit more than it might in yours. So I think that we're familiar with it just, you know, by way of professional practice. And like I said, these are kind of the things that I nerd out about a little bit. So I might do more research than your average person, but no law school. My dad talked me out of that one.
Bummer, because you know, you're pretty good. Like whenever I see you at the student conduct stuff, I'm like, man, that's a lawyer right there, you know.
Thank you. Take it as a compliment. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was wondering if you could ever come to like our IE committee like meetings, you know.
Yeah, just let me know. Let me know what you need and when it is, and I'll make it happen.
Okay.
Hector, I'm really glad you suggested that. Actually, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was actually going to talk to Asia about that outside of the meeting, to see if she would be willing to maybe be kind of a quasi advisor, so to speak, you know, in addition to Jose and the rest of the Student Life folks. Because Hector, I really think this could be an opportunity for y'all to come to either a resolution, which I know, you know, you all might have feelings about. It is one of the ways that y'all can make a statement. I can tell you that Dr. Colson gave this as a suggestion to me to offer it all up to you all. And I think, so if you all were to take a hold of this issue and form an opinion and create a resolution, a simple resolution, it doesn't have to be anything super complex.
Yeah.
I think that would be really appropriate. So anyway, it sounds like Asia's supportive. So hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah, because I was thinking like we could, because I forgot to put it in the report because I was so focused on the resolutions of the SSCCC. But so we're gonna be having General Assembly like once a semester and stuff, and so I was thinking it was possible that we could write up our own resolution,
Definitely,
and then try and encourage the California Senator and the California Assembly to like kind of like, you know, try and push this, you know, to try and write up some legislation.
Yep, great idea. I'm here for it.
Yes.
And then if not, we could just bomb Melissa, not bomb, sorry, but attend Melissa Melendez's like town halls, you know, because I know she's like a local, you know, like her office is literally by Guitar Center, you know, so.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point. Like, as student activists, you have such a direct impact on your local politicians. And I think that folks really grossly underestimate the power of local politics in that way. Like it trickles up. Like any grassroots campaign, it starts from the bottom up. It starts with people just like you deciding that something is important to them and being willing to stand for it and on it. And then you get these major nationwide movements as a result of just a couple students who cared, right? So you guys are totally empowered to take this, run with it, don't, whatever. But I think that you can do a lot. You have very strong voices.
And she said that like I look like her nephew. So I'm like, okay, taking advantage of that.
Okay. Getting back on track. Does that conclude any questions we may have for Asia?
Hey, Victor, can I just offer
Yes.
one more thing? So
Go
I'm
right ahead,
gonna
Maya.
ask that along with Hector, Hector's and the committee, the IE committee's focus on this issue, I'm gonna also ask if possible, if we can have the public relations committee work in collaboration. So that means, you know, if Ariana is able and some other folks are able to focus on this issue, and if y'all decide as an SGA, which I would encourage us to make a decision fairly soon so we can get working on it. I think because we're going to need public relations more than anything to get this word out, because that's really what it's about, right? It's raising awareness. So if I can just offer that.
Alrighty. And Ariana said count her in, so it's great. All right, then we'll move on to line item 2. Discuss possible programming for an online commencement. Hector, I believe you had some questions regarding this. It wasn't anything that actually, this was my agenda item.
Okay, because I was gonna say like, could somebody like, yeah, if it's your item, I was gonna say, could you elaborate on that and then what the
Yeah,
SGA is
of
supposed to
course.
do?
Yeah, of course. So I was in a graduation focus group over the break. That was when I was notified that our graduation will be held virtually, and we were basically asked like what our online commencement would want to look like, right? Or what we want our online commencement to look like. So that's why I'm bringing it to y'all. At the meeting, I didn't really have anything to say because like I was still navigating my feelings about an online commencement, but I know that it's out of our hands at this point. It's out of anyone's hands at MSJC. So I'm asking for y'all's help with creating programming for an online commencement in terms of like what we would want to see.
I was gonna say like, is there like a guide or something out there?
Yeah, it's some like the reason why I brought this back on the agenda was because I was hoping that, like we would have had more ideas. And granted, I did have some people who emailed me, so thank you to those who did email me about some ideas, some possible ideas about the graduation. I do greatly appreciate it, but I just wanted to bring it back up here again, just in case like nobody got the chance to email me over the week. But it's totally fine if y'all don't have anything for this meeting.
I think it would be probably pretty cool if there was like a Twitch stream or like everybody's name on it. Just
a Twitch stream.
Congratulations, and then like 24 hours just running, and then like, you know,
24-hour stream.
I don't know.
So it would be like a loop.
Yeah, like a loop.
I think that could be possible because right now I think what we're having or what we're trying to do is have it be at max like an hour and 30 minutes because it's online. And then have like basically like a slideshow with people's pictures and any information that they want like on their slide essentially.
Yeah, and then we're gonna say like maybe loop that for 24 hours. And
Yeah.
then, you know, because I'm pretty sure someone out there will want to be celebrating, and then we'll be like, "Hey, look at my stream! Look right here at this minute mark."
Yeah. I understand. So possibly loop the graduation for 24 hours on Twitch. Maybe like not on the same day, like maybe another time. That way, like graduation itself, like on May 21st, would be a little bit more meaningful in a way. That way, it's just like you have this one time to celebrate it, but you can also watch it again like a week from now or something. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Hector. Does anyone else want to chime in for possible programming? If not, it's totally fine. I understand. Alrighty. Then we'll move on to line item 3. Tracy, this is your line item. Discussion of possible online donation event. So I know you guys, so I know y'all talked about this a little bit in your FA meeting. So please.
Yeah, so we talked about the possibility and just want advisors to provide more information from MSJC Foundation. So Jose, do you have some information regarding this event?
Yeah, so I can chime in. So we actually spoke with Maya first. We wanted to run it by her. And, you know, we're definitely very supportive of SGA wanting to donate $500, right, to support those in the community. And we're also supportive of SGA having their own like PayPal link for those that wish to donate to SGA, and then SGA can distribute that through foundation or another source of support. So that is where we are. We're definitely very supportive. I think just the biggest thing is just being mindful that, you know, we really don't have a lot of, like, we don't have a large budget, right? I think that we were very comfortable with $500.
Yeah.
You know, and of course we do have that opportunity to create that donation link, that PayPal link for SGA. So if people did want to donate, they could still donate to us. And then of course we donate to the foundation. I think, yeah, going through the foundation is still the most appropriate way, just because they have these systems in place, right? They have their criteria in place. They have certain funds are like categories in place that support students. So yeah, so that's the route that we would like to take, and we're supportive of taking. And Maya, and then go ahead, Maya.
Yeah, thanks, Jose. No, you summed it all up. Tracy, I would just ask if you can, if you want to carry this forward with Foundation, I would actually empower you to reach out to the supervisor, actually director of Foundation, Rebecca Orlowski, and invite her to our next SGA meeting, so that you can chat with her. Or
I'd like to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, or you can also invite her to your Financial Affairs Committee meeting, and kind of have a conversation there, and then bring that back to the SGA. But I don't know. I mean, we can totally invite her to the SGA meeting as well. That probably would be just as helpful. She'd probably be open to doing both, quite honestly, because she really loves working with y'all. So yeah, so maybe Jose, or rather Tracy, you know, reach out to Jose and get that info. But I think her email's pretty easy. So I think it's like R Orlowski or something. But Jose, we can probably get that for her.
Yeah. So Tracy, we can work on that.
Okay, yeah. I just need her email, and maybe I can email her, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So do we all agree like $500 for donation from SGA budget?
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, I don't have a vote, so it's up to
Yeah, I was
you.
gonna say you're gonna have to do like a roll call vote.
So
Yeah.
actually, Tracy, we'll need to approve it in.
Yeah, just ask everybody like what
yeah.
do they think? Yeah.
Yeah, like
Just
what's like the
approve.
overall feel of it?
Yeah. I was gonna say, is this coming from our budget or from?
It's come from our budget. Yeah.
Okay, then I guess it shouldn't it go through the committee first, and then like
Yeah.
and then throw it
We'll
on the
approve
agenda?
it next meeting, but just
Yeah.
want to ask like what you guys think so we can approve.
Just put it on the agenda. I don't think you really need anyone's like approval.
No, what do you guys think? Like, is this
Yeah,
one
this is
okay?
discussion.
I said
just
this
discuss.
in your meeting, Tracy.
Yeah.
But I really think that we should have it at minimum 1,000 because
1,000?
yes. So that way we're able to give a lot more. And if we do maybe like 2 $500 scholarships, that'd be a lot better than just one.
I agree with Victoria.
Okay.
Does anybody
So
else
the
want to
only
chime in?
thing I'll
Okay.
comment on the amount, y'all, is just so that y'all know. So again, we don't know what our economy is going to look like next year. We don't know what our economy is going to look like, frankly, for the next 3 years or 10 years, right? And so, you know, if y'all feel really strongly about doing the 1,000, then I'm not gonna say no, and I'm not gonna not support y'all. But I just really want to emphasize we're in a really dire strait. I've been through something like this before. I worked at a community college and advised an ASB that actually had quite a larger budget than you all had at Long Beach. And we were super conservative then. And I just think we need to be really super conservative now, because in the event that enrollment does either fall or increase, that's going to have a direct impact on your budget. And it's also going to have a direct impact on the entire college's budget. So I just want to be cautious. Like we're barely seeing the tip of the spear of really how hard things are going to get. And so I just want to make sure that we have enough that we can move forward with next year and the years beyond. But certainly if y'all want to do that amount, then, you know, I'm not going to stand in your way. I just want to make sure that everybody's thinking about that.
I think Brian brought up that exact point in Tracy's meeting. So he also mentioned, and I apologize for the dogs barking in the background. Every time I come on the mic, all the dogs in the neighborhood start barking. But Brian brought up that same point because he didn't want us to, you know, to end up falling into a more difficult time in the future. But I think that we can do 1,000 because, you know, it's just 1,000. Tracy said that, you know, like our current budget was, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like $21,568.27. I believe we can spare 1,000 for now. And I was even notified in her meeting that there's approximately like $4 million relief fund that is being put together through MSJC, through our foundation. So, you know, we can also tap into that. But I feel like as SGA, our job is to represent our students and to make sure that we support them, because at the end of the day, we're not doing this for ourselves. We're doing this for them. And right now things are super difficult. And I can speak on that personally too. You know, I have a family of 7 in this house. It's hard when you only have maybe 3 people working. So I want to give back to the students, and I believe we can spare $1,000. Maybe our economy won't be the same next year and the next 3 years, but I know we can make that back. I know that everyone can come together to support each other and support our community and bring back that $1,000. To me, that's chump change. Right now, it's really important, and I want to focus on that.
And to support Victoria's what she's saying right now, I see that a lot of students don't have laptops or anything to continue their online education. And a lot of students can't afford tuition, or they can't afford books, and they want to drop classes because of this. I think that right now, the most important thing is to worry about them and how to get them through this difficult time, because a lot of students went to school. Their home was MSJC. Their kind of their get away from life realities and things going on. And I think it's not like she was saying, we are the students' voice. And if we can spare another 500 so we can get 2 scholarships instead of just 1, it would help one of those students. And I think that would be a huge success for us to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Victoria.
Can I just make one comment, or actually I'll just chime in? Victor, is that okay?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yes, Adele, I absolutely agree. So again, I'm just, my job as an advisor is ultimately just to advise, right? Like to just let y'all know the facts, and ultimately the decision is going to be up to you. I think that's fine. I mean, $1,000, like you're absolutely right. It's not going to break our budget this year. The reality and fact is we're not going to spend the amount of money that we normally would have spent on the activities that we would have done. Also, you know, the end of year recognition ceremonies, like we're simply not going to spend that money. So frankly, the money that y'all allocate for this is really just the money that we probably would have spent on our recognition ceremony. So at the end of the day, I'm not super worried about it. However, can I just ask, and this is all I'm going to ask, can we bring Rebecca Orlowski to come in and have a conversation about this, and then maybe talk about how that actual scholarship would be decided upon, what the process would be, considering that's pretty much all the foundation, I shouldn't say all, it's one of the most important things that the foundation does is offer scholarships, right?
Right.
So I would just encourage us to allow her to come in, talk about the process that they utilize. I would also offer, if we're going to do 1,000, which is great, that's fine. What about breaking that up into smaller increments? Not necessarily small increments, right? But potentially, you know, maybe $200, $300. So that way we can spread that money around to multiple students and not just giving, you know, 2 huge scholarships to, or not huge, because 500 is not necessarily huge compared to a big educational bill. But I'm just wanting to offer that up for y'all as something to consider. That's all.
Yeah, I think 5 200s would be a pretty good one.
Yeah, honestly, thank you, Maya, and thank you for hearing all of us out. I do really want to have that support for everybody, and Tracy's been working super hard on this, and I know that she'll include Rebecca into that, so that way we hear foundation side, because we want this to be official. You know, we don't just want students to feel like it's a scam potentially or anything like that. We really want this to be an official process to make sure that MSJC is representing that. So yeah, I do think like 2 big, I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see them. I really think 2 big $500 scholarships is nice, but if we can all discuss, we might even like to do how you just suggested, maybe even
Stretch
like
it out. Yeah.
$200 scholarships for more people. So I'd love that. And I do hope that we're able to discuss this again at the next meeting with Rebecca.
Yeah. My only concern is like the time aspect of this, because we are at the very end of the semester. I just want to see like how the applicants will be receiving their scholarship and
Yeah, that's one big question. And we discussed this problem in our financial affairs meeting, and advisors will ask foundation for more information. So I'm not sure now if we know like such information from foundation.
So actually another person, and Suzanne, if you can help me out with this email in the chat, I think another person, this is going to be a little confusing because they're both named Rebecca. I think another important person we should probably include in this conversation for the next meeting, if she can make it, hopefully she can, is Executive Dean Rebecca Teague. So she's the one who's actually in charge of our C committee, right? She's actually the point person, I believe, or her team is the point team for that $4 million, right? That big amount of money from the state that's potentially funneling down to MSJC. They're going to be in the process of actually figuring that out as well. So we have, on the one hand, we have Rebecca Orlowski Foundation, right, who does our normal scholarships. And then we have Rebecca Teague's office in institutional research, who really, their job is really to figure out how the institution can be most effective with their services, period, and kind of a general role for what they do. So Rebecca Teague and Rebecca Orlowski, I think, could really offer some really good insight for y'all as we go through this process and kind of figure out how you all want to utilize those funds best. I will also encourage you, something else to think about, right? So well, first of all, at other community colleges, particularly those that have larger AS budgets than we do, I'm gonna specifically name Long Beach City because that's where I used to work and have experience there, but they're also a large college. They actually had a component of their budget specifically for grants. And I think Riverside City College actually does this too. Like I said, a lot of the larger community colleges that have extra money will do this.
Yeah,
They'll
I've
actually
seen,
create
like Palomar. I've seen Palomar and like Miracosta, I think, with that.
Right. And so trust me, like when I first got here at MSGC, I was like, oh, let's see if we can do this. Like, let's bring this to MSGC. The challenge has been we didn't have a lot of money, right? And so we literally didn't have money to send you all to conferences. We didn't have money to do leadership retreats. We didn't have money to do anything. And so I didn't at the time, I advised the group to not set anything up because I'm like, honestly, y'all, we really can't afford it. Like we have to be able to do these other things. And so at the time we didn't do it. However, the longer that we are at home, right, the longer that we're not operating as usual on campus and spending the money that we would on campus, we do have a little wiggle room. So I do think, we can start with $1,000, right? We can see how that goes. And then I would say for the next SGA group that's coming in next year, we might want to consider allocating an additional $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 potentially for the year, right? And maybe even more, right? Like, because we don't know how long this is going to last. So something to throw out there, something maybe for the next financial affairs commissioner to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Thank you all for this really great discussion. And I think we will benefit from having a larger crowd, especially with the ears of Rebecca Orlowski. That being said, I don't want to get like a feedback from like all the members because I do think we would.
Yeah, I will reach out to Rebecca and I will invite her to our financial affairs meeting or our next Friday's meeting, and we can just get more information. Yeah.
Yeah, I would encourage you to do both.
Yeah, both.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tracy. With that being said, I believe this concludes our line item 3. We will, again, as previously stated, we will continue this discussion next week.
Yeah.
Do I have any call for agenda items before I adjourn this meeting?
I guess we'll have to do the I forgot. I think the whatever the donation stuff, maybe like the approval of the donation thing.
Approval of donation.
Or we could wait until Wednesday until like the financial committee decides on the actual number,
Right. So what I want to remind y'all is that by next week, it would have been the 24th. And if we don't have an approval, then we would have to wait until May 1st.
Mhm.
And then once we have the May 1st approval, then how long do we really have to advertise the scholarship?
Yeah, and then I was thinking like I think we're still in office during the summer too, right?
Technically, you're in the office, but technically, yes, you are an officer, but we don't function.
Yeah.
Traditionally, we don't function officially during the summer. However, as a staff and as a team, we're gonna make that decision in the next week or two, or next couple of weeks, I should say, to figure out how we're actually gonna operate. I can't promise you that we're gonna fully operate at capacity the way that we would normally during fall and spring.
Yeah.
But we're going to have something. We're definitely going to be operational to some degree. I also want to just offer this up to y'all. Events, are we going to be doing any watch parties, or is there anything? I know I wasn't in the college activities committee this week, but is that something that we need to add to the agenda next week so that we can actually solidify?
No, that's just all going through college activities. So
Yeah.
Brian, yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, you got it for me. I was just gonna say, so we're working on those events right now. We're actually pushing the event. Well, yeah, pushing the meeting instead of Thursday that it'll be Monday, just because we want to work on the advertisements for Earth Day as well as the Sexual Awareness Week that Fidel is planning, and I can't remember what else we're trying to do, but we want to get those events out as soon as possible. And then from there, work on other events such as the Virtual Poets Lounge and then the Coffee with the President. So those are what we're working with right now. But so far on Monday, we'll be discussing the events for the Netflix watch party, and the other 2 events for Earth Day and the Sexual Awareness Week.
So when will we have dates solidified specifically for these events? Because I do want to make sure we're following our constitution and we're actually putting that on the regular SGA agenda for final approval, right? Because
it'll be on hopefully Monday.
Okay, so can we just add the events to next week's agenda so that we were being completely transparent and it's actually on the SGA agenda? Because remember, the committees feed up to the SGA agenda, right?
Yeah,
The
and
work is done
Maya,
in committee.
the events that we have, like Earth Day, we wanted to get that out by April 22nd, which is Earth Day, so before or on. And then for the Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we wanted to hopefully get that by the last week of April. For sure, those are some deadlines, and we're, like Brian said, we're going to be discussing this on Monday so that we're able to get these out as quickly and as efficiently as we can.
So if Earth Day is next week, right? It's what?
I
The
believe
20.
Wednesday, the 22nd.
Yeah. So which is why we had pushed what I had asked Victoria, since she was kind of taking the lead on this one, to see if she could have everything ready by Monday instead, so that when she presents everything as well as they delve for Sexual Awareness Week, they can present the stuff for Monday, and that way we have everything ready for Earth Day, and then as well as ready for the last week of April when they were trying to meet their deadline.
So what's the event that's planned for the 22nd?
Earth Day is going to be a social media event. It's just going to be a small Instagram highlight, which is where students can access on Instagram that they can view as many times as they want. And it's just going to have little resources, little videos about the good that's kind of coming from quarantine. So how animals are roaming.
We're trying to have anthropology collaborate, like do something for Earth Day. So
just
yeah,
put
they can
together
get back to me.
a little presentation, and we're working with Lupe, who's trying to get more people involved. So emails, going back and forth. We're trying to get that done, just so that we encourage students that, hey, even though that we're stuck inside, there's some beautiful stuff going on outside, and to take a bit to just appreciate nature again. It's nothing too dramatic.
Yeah.
And Maya, I wanted to share with you, me and Victoria are gonna share the idea on how it will look on the social media, specifically on Instagram, the highlight and the IGTV. So if you have the time, if you have the chance, the PR meeting is gonna be Monday at 1 p.m. And we're gonna show Jose our idea, and we're gonna show a video on how it will look. So yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll definitely have it on my calendar for sure. Can I just ask, just as we move forward again, y'all? I know that you're following protocol by going through committee, which is absolutely what you're supposed to be doing. So good job. I just want to make sure that we're being transparent as possible. And so in the future, if we can just get back into the habit of putting every event that we're remotely thinking about having on the agenda, the SGA agenda, even though technically the decision may have already been made in the committee, just want to make sure that we're putting everything on the actual SGA regular agenda that we're planning on doing. So if we can just get back to that for the next, just for the ongoing weeks. But good job.
Copy that. Thanks, Maya.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Maya.
I actually didn't put that on, or I didn't let Victor know about that, just because the committee meeting was taking place on Thursday and he already had the agenda made. But for next week, I'll make sure to let him know, just because since we're having our meeting on Monday, it'll be enough time for him to put it on Friday's agenda. But that's the only reason why I didn't tell him regarding this one. But it's not that I would have had it on there for you. So sorry about that.
I mean, listen, y'all are doing a fabulous job. The fact that you're even here and you're existing is enough. I'm doing my advisor nerdy stuff, right? Just so anyway, thank you.
Protocol. Yeah. Alrighty, with that being said, are there any other call for agenda items?
Victor, do we want to add again, kind of getting back to just kind of putting everything on the agenda that we're really looking to make a decision on? Can we add the discussion on scholarships?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I have the discussion and approval of $1,000 donation for scholarships, just because I don't want to wait until May 1st to approve of the $1,000, especially because I think students would have less than 2 weeks probably to worry about another scholarship opportunity. Well, they already have to worry about online school and finals, and because finals are going to be online, like how is that going to work out with every student? So I just want us to allocate enough time for students to be able to multitask and have this on their plate, right?
Got it.
Yeah, but I do want to stress the fact that it is discussion and approval of the $1,000. So hopefully with the discussion with Rebecca Orlowski, she will be supportive of this. That way we can approve of the $1,000. But yeah, I just want to be very clear on that. We will be discussing it as well as approving it.
Okay.
And this, I believe, Tracy, Financial Affairs is going to be meeting on Monday, correct?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if y'all want to further discuss, like if $1,000 is the route, then that's up to y'all. Just let me know. That way I can put it on the agenda for Friday if you guys have changed the amount.
Hey, wait, just in case.
Okay.
Nick, are you on the line?
Yeah, what's up?
Are the minutes complete?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Thank you. Alrighty.
Okay. So I guess I moved to adjourn, right? Like, nobody.
Yeah, if nobody else has anything for the agenda items, then
I mentioned this earlier, but just to restate it, I will be typing up the like events and everything that I kind of have the lead, again, air quotes, that I kind of have the lead on. So I'm gonna try really, really hard to get that out today, at least so everyone has an idea in case they didn't hear everything or anything like that. So it will be sent to all of SGA. And maybe if it interferes or if it has anything to do with agenda items, they can be added and so on and so forth.
definitely. Thank you, Victoria. That being said,
There's a regional affairs meeting today at 2 p.m. if you guys are interested.
Region 9.
Yeah, for Region 9.
I'll tell everyone I said hello. That being said, I don't believe we have any more agenda items. If y'all do, please just email me by Monday midnight. I'm giving y'all a
Oh.
deadline
Oh,
Monday at 11:59
I
p.m.
forgot. If you guys look in chat, like there's this like GoFundMe, where you can donate, or if you follow one of the
Yeah, we also discussed this one in our meeting, financial affairs meeting, this website. But I think this is a very good website, and I really want to do another like fundraising campaign. But the problem is we may don't have enough time, to do both, But I like to do it. I really love this website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, not the GoFundMe website, but this actual coronavirus.
Wait, give me 1 second, Hector, because I think this is going off topic of our meeting. So,
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. You can talk about
I
this
mean, we
like
can
after I
adjourn
adjourned
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll adjourn this meeting at 11:22 a.m. Thank you all for coming, and go ahead, Hector.
All right, yeah. So I was gonna say this coronavirus rent relief fund. Like they have like a donate. Like you could donate to this, and then also they have like a Twitter thread where you could put your Cash App or your Zelle link or whatever, and like ask for help on your rent, and then the Joseph guy will like send you money. Yeah, for your rent or whatever.
Yeah, that's perfect. Jose, I was notified that on the live stream that comments are disabled, I believe. At least that's what Ellie told me.
I only know of I fixed the ones on Zoom, but I'm not sure about the YouTube. Suzanne, do we know anything about that?
Yeah, so we disabled comments because people are supposed to be submitting their comments via the email.
Oh, that's
We're
right.
not doing a live chat like we're doing with our other interactive events. So we're trying to follow that process so we can vet them in advance and all that. So, and have it as secure as possible.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Alrighty. Yeah, thank you so much for the clarification, Suzanne.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I just wanted to restate that I did adjourn this meeting, so y'all are free to go.